Has this ever happened to you? You're on your phone and you start scrolling. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, the usual. You come across a young person. A very young person that's talented, good looking, ripped, and they're also a talented jazz musician. And you're thinking, oh wow, a person who's done more in their 18 years of living than I have my entire life. You click on the comments, you see a bunch of other blue tick accounts commenting, gassing them up, dropping fire emojis. You click on one of the profiles commenting, and you realize they have even more followers, they're better looking, and they're an even better musician and more talented overall. And on top of that, it doesn't look like they have any signs of struggle. Or even taking a few steps back, you're scrolling social media and you see a classmate from high school or college who just got married to their beautiful partner, and they bought a big house in this economy of all places. After 45 minutes, you put your phone down and think about your own life. You don't see any fans. Well, maybe you do. There's a ceiling fan there, but not the kind that you want. No hot, sexy partner. There's no G-Wagon parked outside, but you do have a pile of clothes sitting on a chair that is also broken and needs to be replaced. You might think, oh, someday I will have that mansion, I will be successful, but it's more likely that you feel behind in life after scrolling on social media. You feel like everyone's getting ahead of you while you're left behind. But there is good news, and it's that you can be one of those people. But you have to create your own definition of success. We need a little bit more perspective here. So let's first talk about Dunbar's number. This is a suggested cognitive limit to the number of people with whom one can maintain a social relationship. Of course, this number is debated, and social media probably changes things a little bit because you're exposed to so many more people. But even beyond that, we're biologically hardwired to compare ourselves to other people. It's literally a survival mechanism. Social circles have been key for development of society for many, many years. So if you act too far from what is considered normal, the rest of the circle might see you as an outcast or a threat to society. That is the old days though, and this can be good today, because you will find people with more niche interests, or no matter how crazy your personality is, you'll find a group for it just because you have access to the internet. And I'm not saying to become something that you're not just so you can fit in. I just want to highlight that with social media, you do have access to more people making it, filling up those 150 people of Dunbar's number, so your reference circle is people that are successful. Literally think about it. If you only had a small community, you lived in like rural Mississippi or something like that, a plumber making 100K a year, going back to this family at home for dinner every night is probably the definition of success in that small town. But now you have access to those 18-year-old crypto millionaires from LA or something like that, and you're feeling behind in life. So looking at this concept, it's easy to think that you should flood your perspective with people who are not successful. People just doing worse than you so you can feel better about yourself. Like go hang out with a kid who sold winning lottery tickets for a cheeseburger or something like that. But that is more or less the same habit that will lead to those inevitable ugly feelings about yourself. And it'll further solidify those feelings of mediocrity. So I think the better solution is to fill those slots of Dunbar's number with people that inspire you, motivate you, educate you. Sometimes it might be a young entrepreneur. Sometimes it might be a guy who got in shape during med school and started his own business. But zoom out, you need to have a little bit more perspective here. The people who are 18-year-old multimillionaires posting dancing videos on TikTok are not the norm by any means. Success at that young age is so rare. Think about Colonel Sanders, made KFC in his 60s. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter in her 40s. Vincent van Gogh, a famous artist, was not even famous for his art until well after he passed away. So feeling behind in life often has to do with feeling like you haven't had a certain amount of success by a certain age. Age and level of success are the two variables here. So I do want to continue to break those down. So remember that pressure from others will always be there. A lot of people who feel like they're falling behind in life are chasing success from like a more traditional sense of what society has ascribed to them. You're trying to be worthy of other people's love and approval. But really it's more important to have your own approval. So you have to be achieving things that make you worthy of your own self-love. I really do think this is a self-love problem instead of a pure accomplishment problem. And with what we're exposed to, it's very easy to compare yourself with someone who is making it on social media. And trust me, I'm making this video because I do it too, and I need the reminder constantly. No matter how much I accomplish, I'm still comparing myself to someone doing much better than me that I see on the internet. So this begs the question, what do I even do? Do I just love myself, let my hopes and dreams and aspirations die? Sure, that might sound good in theory, but definitely awful in practice. Personally, I think we need two things to come from this. One, we need to reshape what our mindset around success and fulfillment actually is. And two, redefine success in a way that actually leads to self-love. So I want you to remember that happiness is a choice. And this is the first step of reshaping our mindset. I'm sure you've heard the quote like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the person says, oh, I just want to be happy. Cliche, but I really do think that the ultimate feeling that we're all chasing is happiness. Think about any goal that you have. Why do you want to make more money? So you feel more secure, you feel more successful. Why do you want to feel secure and successful? So you're happy. Why do you want to lose fat? So you feel healthier. What will feeling healthier do? It'll make you happy. So instead of doing things that lead to happiness, why don't you just start with happiness and have the other things fall into place? Happiness really is a choice, and you can just start there. I pictured my definition of success to be like a nice lavish lifestyle with beach vacations with like a nice mountain range in the background, nice food, good experiences. But this is a dream. This is literally just fantasy. And fantasies don't accurately reflect how we'll feel after achieving a certain outcome, whether it is achieving a certain goal or achieving a certain income level. I can definitely say that meeting your physiological needs for food, water, shelter, and safety are going to make you happier when you have those things, just the basic needs for survival. But many people are really just chasing beyond that, which I do understand, and I do it myself. Scientists say that the threshold for happiness is around $75,000 a year for your income. That is said to be the point where happiness doesn't really increase as your income increases. And honestly, I don't really think that's true, especially in this economy with like inflation and things like that. 75K in New York is probably not going to get you as far as 75K in rural Arkansas or something like that. And truthfully, more money, when done right, can definitely lead to more opportunity, more freedom, more security, and more exposure to certain experiences. So the point of this all is to say that being a millionaire or being very wealthy or achieving a certain level of success will still give you problems. I can confidently say with myself, as my income has increased over $75,000 a year, my happiness really is no different. I'm equally as happy as when I was in high school, when I was supported by my parents, or even in med school when I made no money and was getting into crippling student debt. I still have problems, just different ones. So if you think $1 million or a hot girlfriend or boyfriend or a big house is gonna remove all your problems, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. So let's talk about effective forecasting. This is the prediction of one's emotional state in the future that influences our current decisions, preferences, and behavior. So this means that we try to predict our emotional state after a certain thing will happen. Like when you think a vacation or a promotion will make you happier, but you don't realize that you're gonna get sunburned on the vacation or the promotion is going to be giving you much more responsibility. Or when you eat ice cream or pizza to satisfy a craving, but you don't realize they're gonna feel sluggish, slow, and bloated afterwards. The point is that we inaccurately think how we're gonna feel in the future after a certain thing happens. Because like I said earlier, no matter where we are in life, there's always going to be problems. Kim Kardashian may have all the money in the world, but she's still gonna have an emotional breakdown when she loses an expensive pair of earrings. Sure, losing multiple 5-figure earrings is a good problem to have, but I still wanna highlight that problems are still gonna be there, especially for her. So don't let your happiness be conditional. It's not gonna happen when you achieve X goal or achieve X partner or X income. You have to realize that happiness is a conscious choice. But I know sometimes that is easier said than done. So how do we even do it? So we have to redefine our own metric of success. Society will have you think that having a nice beach vacation, six-pack abs are the definition of success in certain circles. But this is the point where you have to back up and realize that society and the outer world is defining this vision of success for you. This may not be your vision of success. You are not society. You're a part of it, but you are your own person. Those things could be important to you if you want them to be, but still your own metric of success will be different. For me, success is having incredible relationships, friendships, and being exposed to a lot of experiences that define what my life is. And on top of that, I want to do meaningful work day to day. So I definitely recommend you journal or go on a walk and think about what success actually means to you. What are the things that would lead to you being happy and fulfilled and successful? So the other variable I want to discuss is timing. And this is something that I've realized only lately. And it's that young success often looks really cool on paper or when you're seeing it on the internet, but in reality, it's often a dark place. And there are a couple of people I want to highlight just to talk about this really quickly. The first is Lil Xan. Yes, Lil Xan. He blew up in 2017 at the ripe age of 20 years old, dropping some raps, some fire bars. He eventually struggled with drugs, stopped making music, and went bankrupt, and there he is now. In the fitness world, some of you may remember William Lee. He was the guy who was like, "You want these? Do these," and was like poking and jiggling at his chest. He blew up, over 1 million followers, eventually stopped posting, fell off. He may have not been able to handle the level of leanness that got him famous in the first place, or just couldn't handle the spotlight. I don't really know. I just know that I haven't seen from him in a year. So the other question to think about is, how can deferred success help you in the long run? Quick riches, fame, success in your 20s, 30s, or even teens, sounds great. But remember that the average millionaire in the USA is 57 years old. Yeah, 57. After decades of grind, you become the person required to maintain and achieve that level of success. Too often we see people blowing up, not knowing how to handle it, and then just falling off. So it's also important to develop process-driven outcomes. That is when you focus on having enjoyment and value of the process of achieving the goal rather than the outcome. Think about the journey, not the destination, essentially. Sure, you want a six-pack or $1 million, but how are you going to get there? The process-driven outcome for the $1 million is learning to give value to people. People will pay you for the value that you give them, and that will eventually lead to $1 million if you're focusing on just giving value. For the six-pack, learning to enjoy exercise, feeling fulfillment in that will eventually lead you to the six-pack. It's important to learn to enjoy the process and finding processes that will get you to your goal that you're enjoying, and you could just chill doing the process. You're happy at that point, and you don't have to worry about necessarily the outcome, which you'll eventually get to. It's great for motivation to keep the end goal in mind, but you do have to focus on the process. And beyond that, you have to make the process sustainable. Feelings of guilt and shame in life will definitely creep in here and there, but when you realize you've done a lot in the day, you're enjoying the process, you won't feel as bad, and you'll recognize that you're actually moving to a greater purpose for your own life. And beyond that, compare you to your previous self. You've probably already heard that advice, but I do believe in its importance. And really, social media tends to be the main culprit on why people feel left behind in life. It really is a highlight reel. You're always seeing people's highlights, never that struggle or that day-to-day. It's possible that some people are grinding for 5 years, getting 200 views on social media before one video blew up, and then now you think they're just this overnight success when you didn't really see the 5 years of grind behind it. And even beyond that, you tend to forget what you've done in the last few years. If you think about the time since you've graduated high school or college, you've probably done a lot. Sure, you've seen your classmates do other things, but if you look at the highlight reels of your life, maybe you found a partner, maybe you got a job that you like, maybe you got into shape. So chances are you've done some cool stuff too. I've graduated med school, gotten into great shape, built a few successful businesses, found my soulmate, and shoot, even I still feel behind when I compare myself to others. So I should look at my own success in the last few years and see where I started and where I am now. And it's really because I am my own person. This is my own journey. You cannot compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 100. Sure, that person may have already started just based on where they were born in their life circumstances. They may have started at chapter 60 and you're way back at chapter 1, and that's okay. We don't all always start at the same place. So try not to worry too much about where others are and focus more on yourself. Take time to evaluate where you want to go, what you've done to get there, and put the right steps into place. I promise you that if you're making small, consistent life changes, that 1% better everyday kind of principle, you're going to get to where you want to be and you're going to find value in what you're doing. So those are my thoughts. Social media is toxic. Make sure you unfollow people that don't motivate you, educate you, or inspire you. Focus more on the process, not the outcome, and compare you to you. It really is simple as that. I hope this was a little bit enlightening for you. I wanted to make this video because it's something that I struggle as well, and I want to make sure that I'm mindful of it at all times. So if you like the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe for more videos like this. If you're interested in getting in the best shape and mindset of your life, make sure you fill out my coaching application in the link below, and I'll catch you in the next video.